Hello, 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 everyone. It's Kim from K&RP here in southeastern Manitoba. It is 2 degrees Celsius. That's 2 degrees above zero Celsius. It is sunny. What little snow we have, we got snow yesterday. What little snow there stayed is melting. Hey, Anne, happy Friday. And so that means that is 36 degrees Fahrenheit for those of you still doing Fahrenheit. So I have a few different things to show you guys today. Um, Ron made me, I was talking about the yes men that Ron made me. So they're these goofy looking things, and they've got magnets in their eyeballs. So let's just get them to stop moving for a minute. Stop. Stop, stop. They have to be, there we go. So if you just give them a little bit of a, they all start moving because he's got the magnet, so they repel each other. And so they nod. So these are my yes men. I kind of like them. One of my daughters says they're so creepy because they don't have eyes, but this is the prototype. And I was thinking of maybe putting paper eyes, painting weird paper eyes, and doing them. So I have a new toy to play with. I'm thrilled. So they're going to sit here for now, and they'll just keep nodding away throughout the show, I'm hoping, kind of like a perpetual motion kind of thing. And then we're talking about the wooden tops that he does. So these are the ones he's made recently, and I was talking about the walnut ones. So they just, we have a lot of fun with these too. Hey, Jan, welcome, welcome. They need feathers in their hair, they need hats, and they need mustaches, Jean. Nice to see you guys. So I've got tops. When I was managing, I would take these into a staff meeting and try. I had a big bowl of them, probably about 20, and I would try and spin them and get them all spinning, just to prove to my staff that there's no way that only one person can get all these things happening at once. That's why we had to work as a team. So anyway, I have a bunch of wooden tops that he has made recently. Yeah, these are my yes men. They've got magnets in, and he did them so that they repel each other. So they're so much fun. They are so much fun. See, I like them. I am such a child. I said that they have to be the centerpiece, actually, on my table upstairs. But I think they're a lot of fun. They may stay down here for a while. The tops definitely will be going back upstairs. Yay! And then I got Dawn's Happy Mail. She's not here right now, but she sent me Happy Mail. So I got a lovely card that she made. Dawn, the crafty visage. So she did me a whole bunch of die-cut little buildings. This is just lovely. And look at these lovely, like, I don't have these kind of dies, right? But look at these gates. They're just absolutely stunning. So I've got lots to play with. I want to thank Dawn very, very much. I'm going to have to tag her, I guess, and let her know that I received these fun things. So I'm excited. Little things. I am so grateful. I am grateful. I'm grateful to all you guys who come and watch and play and stuff. And these are little embossed flowers, but she cut them out. So I think that's really fun. And then in ATC, autumn is a second spring when every leaf is a flower. Isn't that lovely? I'm just thrilled. And then another little leaf and flower that have been embossed. So thank you, Dawn. I really love it. I absolutely love it. Fabulous, fabulous Happy Meal. So our lovely Anne asked if I could show you how I paint fir trees, pine trees, Christmas trees, whatever you want to call them. It has been a while since I have done it, but I'm hoping that my muscle memory and my brain remembers the way I do it. So I'm going to do some on book page, but to start to show you guys, I'm just going to do some on some white copy paper so you can kind of see how I produce this stuff. So I've got a whole bunch of different acrylic paints here. I've got 3 different greens. I've got brown for the trunk. I've got some blue because sometimes I like to add a little blue with the green, black and white and yellow. And I've got the metallic white just in case people want to add a touch to the snow. So let's get this mucky ice cream pail lid. I guess I probably should have cleaned it, but I did not. So I've got this brown. It's a burnt umber. And you can use either a round brush if you like, or you can use a flat brush. Let me grab a flat brush. So I'm going to show you what it looks like with both brushes, just so that you know, you can kind of see a bit of a difference. I don't really see much of a difference, but it's just the way it works. Just the way it works. Oh yeah, something else. I actually went to Dollarama this past week, and because I needed envelopes, and they had this lovely placemat. It's huge. It's huge. Even my guys are nodding. So I'm going to try using it as a drawn stencil. I'm going to try using paint through it. And I may just end up cutting it up and using it on the gel plate. I'm not sure yet. But I found a really cool plastic placemat. It's not too thick either. So anyway, let's get back to these pine trees. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to paint a stem, trunk. You know, the thing that goes up the center of the tree to hold it together. Yeah, I think it will. Great stencil. As I said, I'm going to try drawing through it so that I can paint it kind of like mandala type style or doodle in it, or I'm not sure. Okay, let's paint a trunk. So I've got my flat brush. Let's get this hangy hair out of it. Now I'm covered in paint. No big deal. So I'm just going to go from the bottom up. So that's with the flat brush. Didn't leave myself much room. I probably should have gone the other way. That's okay. Now I'm going to use the round brush. And again, I try and work the paint and roll the brush in it so that we get a bit of a point. I don't know how well you can see that. Just not so it's big and bulky, right? So again, I'm just going to do a stem. Not much difference from using the flat brush and the round brush. This is the round brush and that's the flat. So when you look at a pine tree, their branches aren't definitely right across from each other. And there are gaps between them so that you can see the stem. Now we're going to start with the darkest green. So as I say, I've got 3 different shades of green. This is Christmas green. Surprise! There's actually a paint called Christmas green. It's a nice darkish green. I'm finding that some of these paints, after they're dry, they're really chalky. I don't know. I don't know what's with that. So we've got a nice dark green. So we're going to take the flat brush, and with the dark green, we're just going to put a little bit on, and we're going to just do some branches, right? Some branches. Let's unfold this. See, I dripped brown water on it. All's good. And of course, pine trees go, one this way, one that way, and across the middle, and they kind of hang down a little bit. And we're doing the whole thing with dark paint right now. And it gets to the point, right? So that's a kind of cute pine tree, just like that. right? That can suffice as a pine tree, but we're not going to leave it at that. Now we're going to do the round brush, and we're going to do some leaves, branches, and you know what? I'm not having them hang down as much as I would like. Um, it's okay. It's okay. We can come back and address that a little bit. Yeah, let's give one more there. Okay, so we could leave that as a pine tree as well. Kind of flat looking. It will serve its purpose. It depends on how elaborate you want to make it. But we're going to touch it up some. We're going to take a lighter green. Maybe we're going to take a lighter green. Oh, there's very little in here, but there'll be enough for what we need. And I'm just going to throw this away right now because. So now what we're going to do is, again, we're going to take our flat brush, just tip it in the light green, and we're going to follow the branches that we've got here, maybe a little bit on top. And we're just kind of going to go over it a little bit, just to give it some depth. Can you see these bottom 3 branches that I did here? Now we're starting to give it a little bit of depth. We're going over the dark green, not exactly matching, a little bit over, because we're going to, when you look at a pine tree, there's the branches behind, there's the branches in front, and we want it to look a little bit deeper. Oh, there was a big booger in that. It's okay. So it gives it a little bit of depth. You can see this is the plain green, and that's now with a lighter green on top. Now we'll switch to the round brush and we'll do the same thing to the other tree. Again, roll it in the paint. Might be a little bit wet. It's okay. And we're going to go over these. It's going to, not right on top, kind of woggle over and under in different places. Leave the dark showing in some spots. It adds to the depth. Adds to the depth. Anybody got exciting plans for the weekend? I am going to go and watch my great niece play rugby. She plays on a women's league rugby. Okay, so we've got the round brush and this one. So now we're going to take we've got that light green. I think this is probably very similar. Now I'm just going to take a little bit of white. And just a little bit of yellow. Oh, you know what? That's a pearl yellow. I don't want to use that yellow. This is just a regular yellow. It's a sun yellow. Haven't been great about cleaning the tops of my paint things. Okay, so now we're going to work on the flat one again. We're going to take that middle green again. We're just going to tip it with yellow and the other tip in white. So it's like 3 different colors. Oh, so far so good. Good, Anne. Glad you got that. You don't, it's um, you don't need it. I have a niece that is going through it for the third time, COVID, and she's not very happy. And I can't blame her. So I'm using all three colors, and the reason I'm using all three colors is again we're doing that depth thing, right? That it looks like it's got a little bit of snow, and by doing this, you know how pine trees, the back branches are bigger, and yeah, yeah. She works with at-risk youth, so I'm sure she gets subject to a lot of. Okay, so sorry guys. Um, so this one now has the dark green, the medium green, and then I've used yellow and white in the medium green, and I went over it again, so it gives different depth on the colors. Now we're going to do that with the round one. I guess I should have made the branches just a little bit thicker. Oh no, I didn't want that. It's okay. It's okay. It's harder to get all the colors on a round brush because as um, it's not as wide, right? So it's really hard to get. But you don't necessarily want to cover the whole thing because pine branches have the different sprouts coming out, right? Oh no, Jan, that's not fun. I hope that clears up soon for you. Definitely. Definitely not fun. So this is my take on pine trees. Very sparse. Now, I did that really narrow so that you could see how I kind of break the branches up. One this way, one that way, one in the middle, right? So if I was actually painting a pine tree, I'll just use the flat brush. Also, when you've got it to this point, you see, I don't know how well you can see. There are some lighter spots. I would just take a really thin brush with the white, and on the light spots, I would add the snow. Definitely add the snow highlight. I don't know how well you can see that on the white page. So, where the lightest color are, you go at the top of it and you just do a light line of the white or a thicker line. It's up to you. Play with it until you're happy, right? Play with it until you're happy. Oh, okay. So you see how I do the branches, you see how I do the colors. Now let's do a pine tree. I'm gonna, yeah, it's wet. Don't care. We're gonna do the stem, the center stem. And also with the center stem, the trunk, you might want to do a couple of branches coming down because sometimes you get those dead branches in a pine tree, right? Let's just do a couple of those little dead branches hanging down. We're going to do it a little bit wider this time. Then we're going to take just a little bit of black. They are having a good time. They really are. Just a little bit of black with your brown, and we're just going to kind of go sporadically over it. Again, giving the trunk a bit of depth, right? Because in nature, the colors aren't solid. It's made up of a varied number of other colors. Okay, so that's the start of my tree. Are we focused? Not quite. Is my camera flaring at the white? Maybe. Remember, this is just copy paper. We're just playing. We're just practicing. Hey, Sherry, welcome, welcome. So now I'm going to take the dark green and we're going to do the bigger branches in dark green. And we are going to make them pretty full this time. And of course, let's kind of try and do it almost like a triangle shape. I'm not great at that. Not great at it. Whoa, that was brown, Kim. Okay. It's okay because you can have darker branches, darker greens. We're painting pine trees today, Sherry. And we can go back in and add a few filler-ins because pine trees aren't totally sparse like this. Kind of liked it with the brown. That gave it a nice shading, actually. Let's do a few down here like that. Okay, so we've got the dark green. Oh, thanks, Anne. I'm hoping I'm doing it slow enough that you're seeing how I'm doing this so that because you asked how I did them. Okay, so now we're going to go into the lighter green again, and along all the branches, we're just going to do some scribbles of lighter green. We're not scribbling totally, we're leaving some of the dark showing, right? Because that's going to give us our depth. Definitely need our depth. Now, did I miss anything really? Not really. Not really. All right. Okay, so now we've got our 2 shades of green. Oh, thank you, Ed. I just want to do it so that you guys get an idea of how I do it. Not that it's the right way, wrong way, whatever. This is just the way I do it. But it's going to give you a basis for you to do it on your own. So now we're going to do the three colors again, the green, the white, and the yellow. And we're going to go where the light color is. We're just going to add a little bit to it. Again, depth. We're doing depth here. Doing the depth. So yeah, I'm going to go watch my great niece, play rugby tomorrow. I have no idea. Rules, regulations. Um, she's been playing for quite a few years. And then she had to take some time off because she had an injury. But she's back on the local university's women's team. She used to play mixed gender team. And anyway, she's playing on the university's women's team. And she hasn't graduated high school yet, so obviously she's a pretty good little player. So I'm really looking forward to it. All right. It's kind of wonky. A little bit wonky, but that's just fine. Hey, Raoul, welcome, welcome. I got your message, Raoul. And you said you've got a few things left for the 31st. I do stream on the Sundays, right? So, okay. So now we've got it like this. Let's add the white for the snow. You know what? Let's take a smaller brush. Let's really give it some detailed snow. So where the top of the branches, we're going to give it a little line of white. And you have to remember, pine branches have different layers, right? So you can do a little bit more throughout. And of course, snow is going to be all different depths because pine branches aren't flat. They don't have to be absolutely perfect. They need the squiggles to show that it's snow. Yeah, I think it's going to be a blast to watch her play. I really wanted to go watch her this summer, but with all the smoke and stuff, really, I felt more housebound than anything this summer, so I didn't get a chance. But they're playing at the soccer complex in the North End, so I, you know, being indoors, I definitely want to go and check it out. Now, of course, if you were doing it in watercolor, you would probably paint the whole background first. I don't know how watercolors work, but I'm just assuming that you would paint the background a green first. I don't know. And then do the detailing on top with various washes of color. Oh, thanks. So, you know, the nice thing about pine trees or any trees is they're not flat, right? So you can wash all different kinds of colors together. So now if I was going to put snow on this so that it's kind of like in a snowbank, I would take some blue. And I've got the white there, and I would take a bigger flat brush, dip it, get it wet, water down the blue, make it a little bit lighter with the white. Like this, so that we've got some blue highlight. Does that make sense? And then I would take watered down white, and I would just keep adding watered down white until I got it looking the way I want it, kind of following the lines that I put in. Because it's the blue that's going to give it the depth, right? So if you were to paint these on like 3x5, 2x3, ETCs, whatever, you could use these as little Christmas cards. Up to you. Totally up to you. Okay, that's pretty wet, so I'm going to let that dry before I add a little bit more white. Let's give it some dead grass. Might as well have lots of fun with this picture. So you can have tufts of, oh, that's way thick. Way thick. Way thick. Yeah, could add baubles, could put a bird in the tree, whatever. String of lights. So let's add a little bit more white. I guess I should have left the grass till the very last. All's good. Oh, so I would call this done. See, they're agreeing. It's done. So that's how I do pine trees, guys. Now, do you want to see how just to do like a pine branch kind of thing? Liner brush. Need liner brushes, really fine liner brushes. So, say you want, let's just do a branch like this. Thanks, guys. As I say, you can add them thicker, you can make them thinner, do what you like, it's yours. So, if we're doing a pine branch, like just if you're doing a sprig with some holly and maybe an ornament at the bottom, you've got the center. And you're going to start at the outside tip and you're just going to do this. Dark green. Start with the dark green. It's not wet enough. It's not coming as thick as I want. There we go. There we go. Okay, so you start with the darkest first, right? So you do your center branch brown, then you feather out some green fine liner brush and you just do like grasses, right? So now you take the medium green, you do the same thing. Now I'm going to add just a little bit of water so that it flows nicer. You do exactly the same thing. Same thing. Don't forget to go over the stem a little bit, like start at the stem and go across so that you can see the stem, but you know that it's you're trying to give it that roundy um you know what I mean. That it's coming from all directions from the stem, the branch. Oh, this way. And I'm in the shadow. Okay. Now we're going to do it one more time. We're going to use white. And we're going to do the exact same thing. And as you're doing the white, it's going to pick up some of that other green. If it's still wet, doesn't show up as nice on a white page as it would if I was doing it on something that, like a gel print or something. And with the white, it gives it that last little bit of depth. So if you were doing like a Christmas tag card, something, so you would have a couple of these, and then you would have some holly leaves, right? Let's do a holly leaf. Or two. Or three. Right? So those you would add just a little bit of black to the outline because it's over the green. We use the same green. I use the same green. So I'm just going to make sure that I've got a little bit of definition for where that holly leaf is. Black's a little thick. Let's give it a couple of red berries. What do I want? Let's use a bigger round. Let's use this one. And of course, I would do more than one um, pine branch sprig, of course. Just rounds for the berries, add a black dot. And then go into the white and just give it a highlight along. Come on, white. Something like that. But like I said, I would do 2 or 3 of the pine branches, pine sprigs. That's how I do Christmas, guys. Anything else? Anything else? Anything else? Should I do one on the book page? Let's try one on the book page. What did I do with my stack of book pages? Well, that's kind of annoying. Just had them. Ladies. Oh, they're under here. Thanks, Jen. Found my book pages. Oh, what am I knocking over now? I have no clue. Something hit the floor behind me. Okay. So I'm going to use this big brush now. And I'm going to do a tree and some snow on this book page. So we're going to start with the stem. And it's going to have a few brown ones coming, like we had on that one. Add some black with the brown. Go over it, not totally, just sporadically, because we want depth and texture, and you know what I'm getting at. stem, trunk. I don't use what I've never used watercolors. Well, I can't say I've never used watercolors. I have tempera paints that I use for painting windows when I used to do like the winter Christmas painting window things. And I've had some powdered tempera paint from more from when I was teaching kids, right? So yeah, no, I don't really use watercolors. I mean, I've used some when I did those, um, when I do the sheets of background stuff. I'll use watercolor and make splatter squish marks so that then I can I don't know what they're called, scrubby things, and then I come back and doodle on them. But no, I've never actually painted anything with watercolors. Let's get some more dark green down. Oh, thanks. I don't know. I just don't know. So let's take this dark green and give us some. Don't really mean to cover up those brown ones. Don't forget to go across the middles once in a while because you don't want the stem showing too much. This is going to be a wonky tree because it's not really, doesn't have to be symmetrical. Yeah, I had a set of watercolors. I never used them. My daughter had got me one of those um, paint kits with acrylics and watercolors and whatever in it for Christmas one year. And um, I never used it. And then my daughters were going and taking an art course, a watercolor course. So I gave them back to her. Oh, there's glue on there. And I'm drying my brush off. And okay, so we've got the brown and the dark green. So now we're going to do the medium green. Let's add some more of that. Get the thing off. So now, as I say, do you want me to stand up and do this? I think I will so that you can maybe get a better feel for what exactly it is I'm trying to do here. Clipboard. Okay. So we have the brown and we've got the green. Now we're going to use the medium green and we're going to just go not completely. And this brush is too big. It's not giving me quite the effect I want. I'm going to get rid of that big brush. It was good for the basics, but I think I want my little brush because this way I can do it more random instead of doing the whole thing, right? We're just going to add some blobs of the light green. You know what? Let's go back to this dark green. Let's muck this up a little bit because I don't like how monotone that is. So I'm just randomly putting the light green on, leaving the dark green exposed in lots of places. Is this making sense? Can you see it better now that I'm standing up? I'm not stressing my legs. I'm good. Do you see now kind of what I'm getting at? That I don't quite cover the entire dark green? Okay, so now we're going to use the medium green, the white, and the yellow. And we're going to do that on top of the lightest green that we've got. Just some, again, just little bits of highlight. Not going crazy deep, just little blobby kind of things with the highlight. And you know what? It's okay if you've got the dark green coming, like if it's still wet and you go into it with the lighter stuff, that's perfectly fine. That is perfectly fine. Okay. Now we're going to take the thinny liner brush into the white, and we're going to add the snow. So we're going to go along the top of the branch. And a few places on the branch. And the top of the branch, some places you want it much thicker, so it's kind of deep. Got a lot of green. The green is still really, really wet. Does that make sense? This one's too solid. Okay. The green is so wet, guys. Thanks, Sherry. Uh, 3 p.m. till 1 a.m. Or midnight for the first. I can get back to you. And is there a specific theme? What's the theme, Raoul? Is there a theme? Arts and crafts. All right. All right. Okay, we're getting more green in it again. Let's go back and put some more white down. This brush? No, this brush. Yeah, this is the brush I was using. Yeah, as far as I know, I don't have anything up New Year's Eve yet. I'll check and see if Defy is doing anything. As well. Is it looking like a tree? A pine tree? A snowy pine tree, guys? I'm just blobbing here. Just blobbing. Because really, you know what, guys? These really don't take long once you kind of figure out what you're doing. All right. Okay, so let's put the snow and stuff at the bottom. Again, we're just going to take that big brush. Let's clean up some of this. Starting to encroach on my workspace. But you guys know how I roll, so that's okay. So again, we're just going to take the blue. Start with blue. Yeah, exactly. It does. Let's add the snow. And then let's try and fussy cut this out as soon as it's dry and see what we can get. All right. So we've got some snow. Now we're going to let this dry just a little bit. And look, they're nodding, they agree. We're going to let it dry, and then I'm going to try and fussy cut out that tree and see. I guess maybe we could try fussy cutting out this tree. It's dry. Let's try it. So I'm going to leave. I don't know how deep I want to fussy cut this. I guess too, if you were really, really fussy cutting it out all the way to the stems, that would be kind of cool. But again, you do you. Do it your way. Now, of course, if you've got a stamp or something of a pine tree and you want to use that and then do this kind of a paint job on top, that would probably be very, very interesting as well. I don't think I have any pine tree stamps. Yeah, it does give it a foundation or a base. Let's kind of make it aesthetically pleasing. Maybe. Maybe. Kind of like that. You know, I think I want to go in here just a little bit deeper. The reason being is it's going to make it look and in here. See, the way you cut it too, it's going to add a whole lot of different character to it. Whole lot of different character. Grabbing a black piece of cardstock, we'll hold it against the black. Look, this way. Hey, Dana, welcome, welcome. Just showing folks how I paint my trees. Thank you. So, got that one. This one's still wet. Didn't do any little grassies. Should I do some little grasses on that? Why not? Why not? Take a fine brush, a little bit brown. Let's do some grass. Now, we could leave the grass just like that, little tippy things like that. Oh, thanks, Anne. But then, if you don't like your grass like that, then just do a little squiggle of brown down the top. Doesn't matter if it's fat, thin, just makes it kind of look more like it's got seeds or whatever to it. Doesn't have to be really big. On screen, Kim, going backwards. See, it gives it a whole different look. Hey, Malia, welcome, welcome. Thanks. I was just doing a tutorial on how I do painted pine trees. Oh, okay. And like the little this kind of branch sprig. Is it a sprig? What is this? It does. It does make a difference. So, don't know what I'm going to do with it, but it was fun. Um, Again, I'm going to show you that grass just on a piece of white paper. I'll just take this one and flip it over and show you how I do the grass. I know you guys, my yes men, they're agreeing I should do this. So that's how I'm doing it. So I just start at the bottom and just go up and lift the brush up as you go. Right? And then if you want to add just a little bit more something, just do a little squiggle on the tips. It makes it look like it's got some seeds or something on it. And then, of course, it's a straight color. So if you did a couple of colors, like dip in both brown and black, it gives it that little bit more texture, right? Or you could dip it in the brown and the green. Same thing. Gives you a little bit more depth. Yeah, like cattails. So All right. All right. No, let's put that one back on black. Back on black. So we cut this one out. I don't know exactly how people would like their trees fussy cut out. It's totally up to you. But because I did the base of a little bit of snow, I didn't totally like go to the stems or anything between the branches. And then this one, decided to do it on a book page. And I love the background of that. So I might leave it just the way it is. Not sure I want to fussy cut it out. These guys are just having a fun. Ron made me a bunch of yes men. They've got magnets in, so they kind of repel each other. So they nod. They make me laugh. I'm sorry. Anyway, so I've got this book page. Not sure what I want to do with it. Maybe I'll line it with line paper on the back and just tuck it into a journal or something. But yeah. Is there anything you need some more clarification on? A bit of a repeat about anything? It's basically all in the layering of the colors. Guess you could always put icicles or whatever on it as well. Okay, okay. The yes men agree. Yes, yes, they do. They're fun. They're a lot of fun. All right. Anything else we want to play with today, guys? I do have a Christmas tree cookie cutter. Should we try using it as a stamp and do it like this? Why not? I can do that. No, he was watching something. We love magnets. We love to play with magnets. I've got whack loads of magnetic toys upstairs, and he had seen something on YouTube. They called them giraffes. And so he had to try it because we had the strapping and magnets. So it's it was a prototype. I love it. Like I said, my daughter finds it very, very creepy because of the eyes or the non eyes. Okay, so let's just paint the edge of this pine tree. You know what? Let's use the big brush because that would probably be much easier. Oh, yeah, it goes much faster this way. So as I was saying, if you've got a stamp or something, I'm considering this as a stamp, so I'm using paint. I do that. Oh, that's cute. Okay, so we're gonna just paint that all in with this dark green. Because that's our base color that we used. I know that that's supposed to be brown. So then what I'll do is I'll come in and I will, let's let's give it a stem because it doesn't have a stem. Trunk. And I like to have a center trunk. Just add something for me. Bit of black. Just add it sporadically. Malia, I haven't sent that parcel out yet. It's going out this afternoon. Just so you know. Okay, so now we're going to do the same thing. We're going to take the light green or the medium green. You could do 4 or 5 different shades of green and do this, guys. Right? It's up to you. So we're not going right over the whole thing with the green. We're just going to blob it kind of thing. Don't forget to go across the trunk, middle stem, because the pine trees go right across in some places because they're facing you, so they're sticking out. So this is going to be a whole different look because the whole background is the dark green. Okay, so now we've got some light green on top. Looks like a mess, doesn't it? It's okay. So now we're going to take some yellow, the white, and that light green, and we're going to go on top of the light green that we put down, maybe a few extra places. Oh, lots of white. A lot more green and yellow. White. Okay, so now we've got that. Still looks like a mess. It's okay. Now we're going to take the white and we're going to add the snow. We're going to use the liner brush. And we're going to make sure that we go along the tops of each branch. A few extra blobs of white. We have to go along the tops of each branch because that's what's holding the snow. So even if you have like a stamp and a cookie cutter or whatever, you can still do a pine tree. They're not as fun. I don't think they're as much fun. They seem to be a little bit more structured. Could just be me. Could just be me. It works, but it's not as much fun. I like to see the background between the branches. So maybe instead of using paint on this, maybe trace around it with a pencil lightly so that you know where you would like the shape. Yeah, I'm thinking that actually if you took a pencil, I do have pencils someplace. Let's see, I've got a pencil. So if you took a pencil and you just went on the tops of the branches, you don't even want to do the whole thing, right? Tops of the branches. Of course, you can't really see it on the paper, but that would give you an idea of the shape and to have it. I'll just show where you wear the, you know what, let's, Slide it with your fingers in the wet paint. Back. This. Okay, we'll put this down. We'll use a brush and just do the tops of the branches, just so that you know where the branches are for the symmetry, etc. Right? Does that make sense? So then you would come with your dark green and you would go from the trunk down that branch. The same thing with this one. Right? So then you would have your trunk, brown, use the brown, your trunk. And then you would do, your branches across, a couple more branches down. But it's the ones across that are going to help it look like a pine tree, right? It's hard to paint on my hand. I like the pine trees with the big tops, multiple top things. So I didn't quite follow the, yeah, general shape to work from. So now, again, go to the lighter colors. I'm using that big brush again because I'm not thinking, but it's okay. Okay. So same thing. Now you go back and you put a lighter green and then do the white and yellow or the white, right? They're just fun. They're just fun. Yeah, general shape to work on. And definitely, I like that. So this one's a lot fuller. I like the downy angled branches more. Okay, let's put white on it. Let's add the white. And I guess actually you want to get the white right to the tips of the branch. Because those would be sticking out, right? And they're not all going to look the same. I think that's the thing that I really like about doing the hand painted pine trees. They all have character of their own. And once you've played with them a little bit, they don't take very long. All right. So that's about all I've got for today. I forgot how easy they were and how quick they come together. So I am going to call it a day. Thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate you for being here, for popping in, for feedback, for ideas, etc. I hope that I have inspired you to try these. If you do try them, please post on Meet Your Creativity because I love to see how I've inspired you to play with yours. Again, that's how, we did those. I will check out the community post, Roel. I will. I am going to have a blast watching rugby tomorrow. So thanks for being here. The community post is on your page, Raul, or Miriam's? Okay, on your channel? Okay. Have a great weekend, everybody. Hope to see you Sunday. Enjoy whatever you're doing this weekend, and I'll see you soon. Thanks again, everybody. Hugs to you all. Hugs to the viewers in the gallery and the replayers. Bye now.